A girl heads to the bathroom. She opens the door and finds her friend making out with a teacher. Shocked, she slams the door shut. Inside, the two couldn't continue, forcing the friend to beg the girl not to spill their secret. But how did things escalate like this? This girl is named Princess, and she has just transferred to a new school. Today is her first day. She comes from a very wealthy family and is full of arrogance. Anyone can see it. However, this school she has joined is very poor. If you mess around, you get slapped and there's nowhere to report it. The moment Princess arrives, she starts showing off her wealth and attitude. The students ask her, "Who are you? If you were truly rich, wouldn't you be studying at a better school? Why have you come here?" A little while later, Princess wants to sit at the front of the class. But when she gets there, she finds a boy already seated. Without hesitation, she starts speaking. The boy asks, "Are you talking to me, or are you talking to the notebooks?" She responds, "You mean you can't hear me? Do you know who I am?" The boy replies, "I don't know who you are, but there are no reserved seats here. If you want to sit at the front, come early." Princess's friend then steps in and asks the boy, "Do you even know who you're talking to, or are you just running your mouth?" The boy calmly replies, "Your breath stinks more than a toilet." In short, he doesn't care and tells them if they want a front seat, they should come to school early. Seeing that sitting at the front won't be possible, they realize they've met a tough opponent. This school is tough. If Princess walks past someone, she might slap them for no reason. Today, a girl is being punished simply because, during the argument with the boy, she laughed in class. If you go against Princess, you get slapped. She believes she is superior because she is rich and treats others as beneath her, as if only she deserves respect. As Princess is punishing the girl, the boy steps in and stops the bullying. Princess turns to him and asks, "Who do you think you are? Why do you keep interfering with my business?" The boy replies, "Stop being foolish. How can you treat someone like this? Who do you think you are?" Then Princess's friend steps in. "Hey, dude, what's your problem?" The boy says, "I already told you your breath stinks, yet you keep getting closer. Don't you get it? The smell is unbearable." Eventually, they decide to leave him alone. That evening, Princess goes home crying uncontrollably. She complains to her mother, "This isn't a school. The place you sent me is like a mini prison. Those people are wild. You could just be walking, and someone might slap you for no reason. Do I really deserve to study at such a place? With all the money Dad has, why am I not in a good school? Mom, when am I going back to Canada? I cannot stay in this cursed place. I don't belong here. Please, let me return to Canada." Her mother replies, "I will speak to your father so you can go back to Canada. Staying here might even put your life in danger." The next morning, the maid comes to do the laundry. Princess takes her clothes downstairs and is shocked to see that the person doing the cleaning is none other than the boy from school. His name is Patrick. Princess smirks. "So, you're our worker?" She is overjoyed. She brings more clothes and taunts him. "You're in trouble now. The whole school must know that you work at my house. Let's see if you'll keep that attitude up." As Patrick cleans, Princess intentionally makes a mess again and again. He mops the floor, she walks over it with muddy feet. He washes dishes, she dirties them right away. She's determined to make his life miserable because he challenges her at school. Back in class, the teacher asks each student to introduce themselves. A girl confidently speaks well, and the teacher praises her, asking the class to applaud. Then the teacher mistakenly calls Princess to the front. She stands proudly. "My name is Princess. Everyone knows me." The class. "Eh? Do you know my father is extremely rich? Do you know he funds this school? All of you poor people study here because of my father's money." The class falls silent. "Do you know I lived in Canada?" Silence again. The teacher quickly realizes his mistake and cuts her off. "Princess, that's enough. Go back to your seat." Her speech was nothing but insults and arrogance. Then Patrick asks for a chance to speak. "My name is Patrick. I see no shame in spending my extra time working in people's homes." Princess interrupts, "Tell them it's my home." Patrick calmly continues, "Yes, I see no shame in saying I clean at this girl's house. This is my life. I have no father, no mother, no one to support me. I am the one who has to struggle to take care of my sister, who has been sick for a long time. I bear the burden of paying for her medicine and everything she needs." As they were about to leave for home, Princess's driver was late to pick her up. Patrick, noticing her situation, approached and said, "Let's go. It's not safe to wait here. Some guys around might cause trouble." Princess snapped, "Get out of here. Why are you even talking to me? Just leave." Patrick shrugged and walked away, leaving her behind. Seconds later, a group of guys approached Princess, snatched her phone, and began hurling insults at her. She was in shock. She couldn't believe she was being treated this way. Out of nowhere, Patrick returned and chased them away. Then he turned to Princess and asked, "So, do you want to leave now, or do you still want to stay here?" Still acting proud, Princess hesitated. Patrick said, "Fine, stay with your attitude. I'm leaving." Princess was stunned. "Are you really leaving me?" Patrick replied, "That's your problem." Realizing she might be in danger if left alone, she quickly gave in. "Okay, wait for me." She hurried to follow him. As they walked, Princess suddenly said, "To be honest, I feel like my legs aren't working. They're shaking." Patrick glanced at her. "What's wrong with you? We're walking just fine." She whined. "I've never walked this much in my life. I feel like my legs are about to break. Any moment now, they might snap." Patrick smirked. "Don't worry. If they break, I'll carry you." As they walked further, they reached a bus. Princess took one look at it and exclaimed, "Wait! Is this the thing I'm supposed to get into?" Patrick laughed. "You can wait for a fancy car if you want. I'm getting in now." As he climbed in, Princess scoffed. "Where did you get this kind of confidence?" With no other option, she got in too. She sat in the middle, squeezed tightly. Patrick noticed her discomfort and asked, "Why are you crying?" She whispered. "I don't understand these people. They're so strange. It feels like I've been kidnapped." Patrick reassured her. "Don't worry. We'll switch to another ride ahead." Princess gasped. "Another ride? When I get home, I'm firing my driver. What kind of life is this?" When they arrived, Patrick escorted her home. As soon as she entered, she started crying. Her father, busy watching TV, barely noticed. She turned to him and asked, "Dad, don't you see that I'm suffering?" Her father replied casually, "What's wrong with you?" She demanded, "Dad, when am I going back to Canada?" Her father sighed. "Canada? There's no more Canada for you. This is your home now." Shocked, she protested, "I hate it here. I don't want to stay. Take me back to Canada. Why did you bring me here to suffer?" Her father hesitated before saying, "I'm sorry you had to find out this way, but your mother and I couldn't work things out after she returned to Canada. She decided to stay there, and I stayed here." Princess gasped. "Wait, Mom left me too?" Her father nodded. "I don't know what to say, but that's the truth." Reality hit her. Returning to Canada wouldn't be easy. Her father continued, "If you want to go back, you need to focus on your studies and pass your exams." Realizing she had no other choice, Princess decided to change her attitude and follow her father's advice. One day, while Patrick was cleaning her room, Princess approached him. "Patrick, you're the top student in class. I want you to tutor me. How much should I pay you?" Patrick scoffed. "Listen, I'm just a poor guy. I'm not even worthy of being near you. Do you really think I can tutor you? Find someone in your class level." Princess was offended. "Fine. You think you know me, huh?" She stormed off and went to her father. "Dad, Patrick is the best student in class. He's willing to tutor me, but he needs payment." Her father turned to Patrick. "Is that true? Are you a top student?" Patrick nodded. "Yes, I am," her father said. "I can hire professional tutors for you." Princess shook her head. "No, I don't want them. Patrick is at my level. I can understand him better. He's the one I want to teach me." Her father then asked Patrick, "How much do you want for tutoring her?" Patrick hesitated. "Maybe 20 naira?" Before he could finish, Princess jumped in. "Dad, he'll need 2,000 naira. That should be enough." Later that night, Patrick told his sister what had happened. His sister frowned. "That girl is a thief. Why would she ask for such a big amount?" Patrick shook his head. "I don't know. It surprised me too." His sister smiled and patted his shoulder. "Keep pushing forward, little brother." Patrick nodded. "When I get paid, I'll buy your medicine and make sure we have enough food." Patrick started tutoring Princess, but she was full of distractions. He, however, remained focused. His life was beginning to change, and he wasn't about to waste this opportunity. During one lesson, Patrick asked, "Why did you tell your father such a high amount just for me to tutor you?" Princess looked at him seriously and said, "Patrick, what you don't know is that I've been watching you. I see how hard you work to support your family. I wanted to help in my own way. I didn't do it to take advantage of you. I did it with good intentions." Patrick was silent for a moment, deep in thought. Finally, he spoke. "I don't like arrogance. I just want you to change and start treating people better. We're all human, and we're no different from each other. Money and status don't define us. Only God knows what tomorrow holds." His words deeply touched Princess. Then, another day, they came to school. While there, Patrick told Princess, "This is the right time to work on what I told you. Kindness doesn't require any cost. Go and apologize to that girl you were bullying that day." Princess paused for a moment, then agreed. She approached the girl. When the girl saw her, she tried to run away, saying, "Please forgive me, I haven't wronged you." Princess told her, "No, don't worry or misunderstand. I didn't come here to harm you. I came to apologize." Everyone in class couldn't believe it. The girl who always looked down on others was now apologizing. Patrick smiled quietly in the corner. Princess continued, "I'm sorry for everything I did to you. Please forgive me." The girl was shocked but said, "No problem. I forgive you." That day, Princess drove Patrick home. Suddenly, her friend showed up and said, "Why is this trash in the car? Get out so I can ride." Princess told her, "Listen to me. If you want to ride, we all ride. If not, know this car is mine." Her friend stood speechless, silently amazed at how Princess had changed for Patrick. Days passed, and today Patrick walked Princess home. It was her younger sibling's birthday, and they all celebrated joyfully. Princess grew closer to Patrick, shedding her sense of superiority. That night, Princess's father entered her room and found her cleaning. He was surprised and said, "This is how an African girl should be. This is what I wanted you to learn." Then he added, "Prepare yourself. Soon, we'll return to Canada." But Princess was no longer happy hearing this. She had grown to love Patrick and didn't want to leave. The next day, when Princess went to the restroom, she found her friend having sex with a teacher. Shocked, she rushed out. Her friend chased her, begging her not to tell. Princess replied, "Do teachers exploit us like this? Why are you degrading yourself?" Her friend cried and pleaded, "Don't say anything. If you do, I'll be in serious trouble." In class, the teacher tried to punish Princess, but Princess defied him, refusing to kneel. When he tried to slap her, she grabbed his hand and fired back harsh words. Just then, the principal entered and asked, "What's happening here?" Princess stared at her friend and said, "Tell the truth, or I will." Her friend cried, "The teacher forces me to sleep with him." Suddenly, another student stood up and said, "Me too." Then another, "Me too." Things escalated. The teacher was arrested immediately, and the whole school learned of his evil. On closing day, parents came to celebrate. Coincidentally, Patrick's sister arrived and realized Princess's father was someone she knew well. Princess's father stared at Patrick's sister and said, "I searched for you everywhere but couldn't find you. Where were you?" Suddenly, the truth unraveled. Patrick's sister said, "Let me explain. Years ago, I worked for this man, Princess's father. One day, he drugged my soda. When I drank it, I passed out, and he raped me. After I got pregnant, his family said a poor girl's child could never marry into theirs. They locked her out and sent me abroad. I was thrown out like a dog, lived a hard life, homeless and abused, with no one to care." People asked, "Okay, but where's your child now?" Patrick was silent, confused. Suddenly, his sister said, "This here is my child." Patrick gasped, "You mean me?" "Yes, you are my biological son, and this man is your real father." Patrick collapsed in shock, tears streaming. "So, I've been working for my own father without knowing?" Princess and others stood speechless. Princess's father tried to defend himself, but the truth was already exposed. Princess had nothing to say. It felt like a nightmare. The truth had exploded before everyone. And that's life. We don't know what tomorrow holds. Treat others well, for you never know where you'll find yourself tomorrow. And that's the recap for today. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a Nollywood recap. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. This is Evans, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay tuned.